this is interesting. So Cinderella and Wizard Familiar are a little bit of a package, but I think we just want a chicken. Looking for evil animals. That's sort of our thing. Let's go for that. And the chicken's an animal, so it's fine to have temporarily. Ooh, okay, so here actually we're gonna make a little bit of a pivot. Buy this, sell, buy, and buff. So we didn't really get much stronger this fight, especially if Pup has any kind of, what do you call it? Support. That's the one. But what we basically did was buy a 2/2 cat, right? And basically have bought the Cinderella for turn one, but we also got a spell cast. So we took the chicken, allowed us to defer our decision to a point where we could be more certain that the Cinderella might be better here. It's possible it still isn't, right? Oh yeah, this is so that's the problem. Yeah, anytime they have a support, they're gonna be pretty impossible to beat. Hmm, this is interesting because these flip into animals. They're not usually what you're looking for, though. If you know, if there was a princess here, we definitely pause. Um, and casting the spell wouldn't be bad either. I think. I mean, there's so many good 3-drops for us, though. Right? I guess there's some good 3-drops. Princess Peep is nice, although it's also nice with this. We're gonna put our animal in front and try to let these get the buff, and then hopefully they take over. We would have liked to cast the spell, obviously, but on turn 4 you don't usually get the chance. 4 gold turn, it's your third turn, I guess. Catter, if they got the buff, is going to be stronger than us in general. That was a nice hit, though. Sort of just a value hit. Looks like we'll still lose this fight, yeah. Just one extra thing. Okay, and then of course we do find the evil queen. And there's a choice of 2 animals here. I think since this is unlikely to trigger, we'll just grab this and roll. And of course see a bunch of stuff that's interesting. I think what we're going to do next turn is try to cast Gingerbread Party. And then cast some buffs. We'd probably even take the second cat. What if we buy a cat pass? Buy a cat pass, buy the second cat here? Because then we don't need a gingerbread party. Basically gives us the same amount of cats, but we're down a chicken. I don't like that. I don't like that very much. I think we want to do something that makes us a little bit stronger. Okay, well, that was a snipe, but we did get a couple extra. Oh, well, we actually win because this was both an animal and evil. Oh, I guess it didn't matter that it was an animal. Okay, so we're gonna buy this, buffing all these. So we sorry, the gingerbread party. Now when we upgrade this, now that characters in the shop get bigger again. Okay, so we just upload got a lot bigger. These chickens are just animals basically, and they're just gonna give buffs to a backline. They give +1/+1 to a whole backline. We don't actually have any evil characters up front, so it's possible the queen just doesn't get big enough. Although it does get +3/+3. Playing into Merlin, who is tough to beat. Our hope is we just get a little extra gold here. We got a gingerbread party and we got a fairy tale, so everything in our shop is getting +2/+2, which is a pretty big buff. I like gingerbread party even before it got buffed. Obviously, maybe I was miscalculating, but I think having +2/+2 this early in the game is going to be huge. And we'll just look for the evil animals. Try to we have a lot of gold stored up with these chickens, and eventually we'll trigger the what's this called? Cinderella. Yeah, so we're gonna lose this fight. They just had a very big Dracula. They had Monster Manual. Okay, that's nice for them. Ooh, Black Cat is very good with this type of board. Oh, we probably should have cast that. Ooh, I'm gonna do this again. Can't help it. I could help it. Just choosing not to. Are we supposed to grab this adventure? It is a 4/4. Like, it's not 0% to trigger. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. I think a 4/4 is, like, reasonable. We got a couple more, this is a double animal, basically, and also double evil for the Queen of Hearts. Gives us a decent chance. We are probably weaker in fight than your average Avella, but we have cast double Gingerbread Party, and we have a Fairy Tale. So all our buys are a lot stronger than normal. Basically, like, think about, for instance, Fancy Pants, which is maybe nothing special, but gives all your first buy every turn +2/+2. Our first buy every turn, all of our buys every turn are getting +3/+3. And that's a level 3 treasure. So we have a huge amount of power stored up just in these gingerbread parties we've cast. And it's not really reflected on board yet, although this is coming in as a 4/4. This being a 4/4, you can already see some of the power. But basically we have a lot of power stored up that isn't being, displayed. Okay, so this thing's going to get to attack, which means it's a little bit worse for us. Although taking out that thing is nice. Any chance this doesn't hit the... Yeah, okay. So we'll win the fight. We get +1 gold, not the +2. That's fine. We, don't get greedy. There's some strong stuff here. This, has a better chance of getting fours. I think we just want the animals, though. Any chance we just want to go wild with these triggers? Oh, yes, we do, right? Because this is a... Sell this thing. Buff her. I think we want to make our animals good. Do we want a lock chest? Maybe? Yeah, we'll take that. Or do we just want to take the... I guess getting the buff is... Yeah, we'll take the lock chest. I don't know. Is a 3-drop going to be good now? Probably not. So we definitely got all... In terms of board strength, we're all over the place. Maybe it's best not to just have this... So, these things either give us 1 XP or 2 gold, right? So maybe it's best not to have the 1 gold thing. Even though it would get buffed otherwise. And we want the adventurer just in back? To give her the best shot? Yeah, probably. Yeah, we just want to basically make sure that we're either getting 2 gold or 1 XP. We're not just, getting the 1 gold. So we're probably losing this fight just because they have a giant vulture. But our goal here is to get XP and gold. Actually seems like a decent chance it might come back around, right? Yeah, we're gonna be all the way level 6. Wow. We'll lose this fight, but we just got all the way to... What do we get, like 4 XP that turn? Okay, we have some options. We're done with adventure. Obviously, Pumpkin King is definitely interesting with Avella. Yorm is like a huge thing here, especially with these Grim Souls. The thing about Pumpkin King is you don't want these goofy black cats. I think the Yorm build is too fragile. I go it a lot, and I feel like I'm constantly disappointed by it. There's no way for me to sell enough things to get this knighthood, right? I can't get this archer, though. So remember that the 2-drops actually don't trigger the Pumpkin King. They don't do anything for that. I feel like I want this giant thing, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab this thing. I'll put it in here or something. Something like this. Oh, we're just trying to get these slays trigger. Oh, is this a bot? So you just get the slays to trigger. It buffs this thing. It also gives us 2 gold for every time. Yeah, we just got 6 extra gold. And we're on 6, I think ahead of everyone. Everyone's at 4. Yeah, we gained so much. Oh, they're at 6. So wow, that's weird. 2 of us are way ahead. Wow, this is incredible, right? 1, 2 at least. I wanted to buy this, but I think we're just not gonna bother. I think I'm supposed to buy this also. This is one of the weirder games I've played, in at least today. I was gonna say recent memory, but I don't know. So this isn't gonna grow that much this turn. I guess we want this. No, we want this. We're fine with this. I guess we sort of want this in back. It's going to be expected to buff these things, right? Huh, this is weird. You know, I guess we could go like this. This is also a monster, so it does get buffed. That means this isn't getting buffed though. Let's put this first. There we go. Okay. So the idea is hopefully this will trigger the Lancelot, give it a little buff, give the Shadow Assassin a buff. I think we have enough evil characters that the Pumpkin's still worth it, maybe. Or maybe not. But that's just for this turn. They're at 6. We'll see what kind of 6 drops they have. I mean, maybe they just have a huge board. They have a good board, yeah, no doubt. It's gonna be a close-ish fight. I think we're fine here. Yeah, especially if they attack there. Looks like we're gonna knock them out. Yeah. Okay, so we turned the corner a little harder than they did, it looked like. And we'll get our 5-drop treasure, which is what we were aiming for. Slay characters attack twice. We have this one slay character. I guess we're getting spawns, right? Let's just grab this. Let's grab the health. I don't know if that's good or not. Oh, slay character. Oh, slay characters attack twice with mermaid is really something. Hercules, I think, is worth it. Obviously, our build is sort of all over the place, right? Because we keep being sort of distracted a little bit by giant things and trying to trigger these treasures. But you know, we have a pumpkin and we basically want evil characters. I mean, if people are starting to hit 5, they're going to be 6 soon, so our advantage is going to fade. But we really need to triple some stuff. I mean, the only thing we're close to tripling, I guess, is Grumblegore. But we need to do that soon in order to, consolidate a little of our board space. Because we don't have room, especially in the back. We'd have, Shadow Assassin is probably better in back, as is Oni King. Because the Oni King's not buffing. I wonder if we're supposed to go like this, right? I think we're supposed to go like this. We'd rather have fewer buffs and let them get buffed by the Grumblegores, I think. Ooh, I was gonna say that snipe is really bad for us, but getting sniped and surviving is actually really nice for us. Ooh, and if they summon a bunch of cats here and they're weak and they can just let you know, get farmed, or farm our Hercules would be nice. Looks like it's not quite what's gonna happen. Please hit our Hercules. Yes. Okay, now please hit our Hercules again, right? Oh, almost. I don't know if, you know, I don't know if it's really almost, right? I don't know if that's really a thing. But this isn't bad, I guess. We're not gonna go Shoulder Fairies. Yeah, I think last game was the second time I got Shoulder Fairies to do anything, so that was exciting. And yeah, we're just looking for, and maybe Grumble, mainly Grumblegores. Excuse me. Do we want this thing? It gives us a little 4 treasure. Buying a spell and having it cast twice doesn't do nothing. First thing to die, get +4/+4. Do we have enough rounds left is the question. I think the answer is probably no. I think this is going to be more useful most of the time. And do we want this in over anything? Problem is, what do you put it in over, right? What do you put it in over is the question. I guess this doesn't need to be fully buffed anymore, so we could make some moves that way. Could go like this. Could even go like this. Not that I think that makes sense. Yeah, I guess that makes a little more sense, right? We want this to attack earlier. Yeah, I mean, so triggering this on this grows it. Maybe we're just not on a Pumpkin King build, right? Maybe we're like on this type of thing. It is a monster also. If we're gonna do that, we probably should have switched the order of those, but such is life. Nice. Okay, so not only do we trade, but their thing also died. Okay, when we crush that person, Singing Swords is just incredibly good. Oh, he has a Pumpkin and an Oni King. Are we back on this? Yeah, I think we are. One thing to think about is that, I mean, we don't have any room, right? But Pumpkin and Oni King are both really nice. I think, do we want to see if we can cast something here? Yeah, we're probably done with Hercules. Let's see if there's any good anything. So this gives us some extra gold. Do we just want this for next turn? We can get double gold. Oh, and I do like croc bait on one of the pumpkins, maybe? Yeah, let's try that. So, I mean, obviously this thing isn't growing anymore, so maybe it's not that good. But it is just a big range character. I think we fought Geppetto before. I remember him mostly being annoying. The idea here is that we have so many buffs. You know, up front we have the sword, we have the singing sword, we have all kinds of buffs basically. That having a ton of spawns is going to be great. We have 6 level 6s. And I think this is just going to be enough in general. If we had some sort of like Slay trigger combo, this might be worth putting in over something else, but I think here it's not. Oh, this will take out our backline of Grumblegores and Pumpkins early on. Yeah, so that was not great for us. I think we're still fine here. Although, that's not a bad spawn for them. It's generally a bad spawn, but it's actually pretty good for them here. And we still have 6 things on board, and they're pretty big, and they're getting +20/+20, so I think we're fine, but this is, so I guess this is what grows off Slay, right? So, but if we had like a bad moon, this isn't enough. Like, it's not even buffed. Like, so putting in the whole like a 3-unit sleigh package just to buff this by, 4 rounds, it just isn't going to be nearly as good as what else the other things we can do. Yeah, let's put this in a time capsule or whatever. Then we'll roll. Oh, we can't cast that now. Oh, we probably should just grab the pumpkin there. Shrivel is good next turn. Should we just go double shrivel next turn? It's usually like not bad, right? Double shrivel. Yeah, let's maybe do that next turn. We want to start thinking about winning fights, right? And converting to an end game. This does make it harder to consolidate our board, obviously, right? Because we now have a pumpkin. The idea is that it will take longer to kill this, and hopefully more of the front row is cleared out by then. And it's also an extra 6. I don't know if you get... Do you get the highest level things, or do you just get the first 7 things to die? I don't actually know. Someone should look into that. I imagine it mostly falls to me, but... here we are. So we do just want to take out this Medusa. The Medusa gaining health actually is interesting. Like that's an interesting build here. I think in general we crush them, right? But if we can't kill this Medusa, we could be in trouble. Okay, so we kill the Medusa, so we're not in that much trouble. They still have to kill something from our board eventually. Oh, they get the sleigh though. That's okay. That's interesting. Eh? I mean, I guess that's the point of their build, right? Is the treasure, the trophy hunter into the sleigh. No, we got the sleigh, so our spells are actually cheaper. Oh, they get the thing comes back. Okay, we crush them. But so now any 3-cost spells we see. Actually, I think we're gonna buy the shrivel anyways. But at least it only costs 1, so we saved a gold. Good job, team. I don't think we want that. We're trying to replace the Shadow Assassin, not upgrade it. And in terms of what we're trying to replace it with, the dragon seems good. So the dragon is going to be like a 40 health, I guess, or 40 attack, but it's also a 6 drop for our pumpkin spawns. Also double shriveling. It's not a monster, so it doesn't get the +20/+20. It's not ranged, but we hit the backline and we do triple damage if it attacks. And a dragon's so disruptive. There's so many. Like, imagine even a dragon against our build like crushes our whole backline, right? I think one of them did have someone had a dragon and did take out 2 of our characters. I think they would have hit like the edge, but it's so disruptive to builds. Like, even if it wouldn't like crush us here because we get so many spawns, it does a ton of it really reduces our attack power. Okay, so we'd love to get the first attack. Oh, sheeping this is annoying. I think we're fine here, right? Yeah, we just have too many things, including a giant pumpkin. And they keep hitting that thing. Yeah, so we win this fight. They never got to convert their treasure map. They had some big monsters though. They had this monster manual earlier when we were fighting against them. Okay, so we're looking for some monsters. I don't think we need to buff any of our things. This is obviously a monster, probably not the one we want. I think it makes sense to grab another one of these. Right, tripling it seems... you know what? It's not even a good triple here. Let's see if we can just find a better spell. Do we want to just double cast this? No, that's probably not good enough. Do we want to double cast this? I guess it's a little better. If not unexciting. Makes it 56 though. Oh, and yeah, next turn we just want to double cast the poison apple. So, I think that's going to be a thing. I don't remember what Keter had. You know, Avella's power is doing almost nothing for us. because we have no animals. It's possible. Oh, this is one animal, so we have one animal. It's possible that there's animals that's. Are there evil animals? I guess there are evil animals that could spawn, although I don't think on 5, so I think this basically is just giving us +1. So if we see a dream, it would be fine to switch. I don't think it's a priority though. I think we mostly just want to triple the things we have. So the problem is if we do triple the stuff we have though, we don't actually have any good replacements. You know, we could put in a 2929, but you know, it gets a lot bigger with the Grumble Gores and the Singing Swords and stuff, but it's not like impressive, so we do wish, you know, it would have been better for us at some point. Oh, so that's a good hit. So yeah, this is the point of protecting this, right? Is that we now have the chance to clear the extra board space. They have a ton of attack up front. So the big thing is does a Siren get anything? No, they don't. We win this easily, and we take them out. So basically, we we had the one turn where we got like 5 XP off the Adventurer, and then we just bought all the evil 6-drops we saw. We have a pair of pumpkins, a pair of Grumblegores, a pair of Oni Kings, and we actually could have had a pair of dragons too. And then, you know, Singing Swords is incredible still. That's just an incredible power. Um, Even with the Grumblegore, you know, with the Grumblegores without, it just basically, I mean, our dragon took out 3 things there. And again, it was disruptive. It took out, I think, was it 2 pumpkins in the backline? Which, you know, could represent, you know, 5 or 6 characters later, but instead they get taken out immediately and just get the 1 spawn each. You know, it's hugely disruptive. It like doesn't just do triple damage, right? Like it does triple damage when it attacks, or double or triple, you know, right? You know, because it could either attack, if it attacks on the sides, it only does, you know, 2 hits. But it also, you know, has sort of the flying ability, which all the other dragons have. This one doesn't have, but it sort of pseudo has the flying ability. And that means that it hits things that are generally people put things in the back because they don't want them to be hit. So it hits the things your opponent doesn't want to be hit, and it hits things in the wrong order for your opponents. And you know, this game is so much about positioning and so much about ordering that the ability to do that is just hugely impactful. So it yeah, dragon's really strong if you can get any kind of buff. Usually if you have a dragon with like 40 attack, I'd say like 30 or 40 is like the break point where it's going to take out most of the backline things that people are trying to hide. Sometimes if it's just like, I think it starts at 10. And if it's just 10, it doesn't always get to the point where it's taking out the stuff you need it to take out. But if you get it to, you know, 20, 30, and especially 40 or 50, it's going to take out everything that you need to hit. Because if you look at like the base stats, I think the highest base stat backliner is going to be like a Green Knight, which has 30. Obviously doubled up, that'd be 60, but most things are going to be like in the 20 to 30 range, even if they're doubled up, like a Bastine or a, what are the backlines? Even like a Grumblegore ends up being, just like, is it a 10-8? I don't actually know what the stats, I'm having trouble seeing what the stats actually are without the treasures, but, maybe it's a 10-5, I feel like it's a 10-5. Either way, the point is that, oh yeah, because we had triple gingerbread party when we bought these. That's why they're +3/+3. So the idea is that, yeah, dragon's really good, obviously. The Oni Kings were kind of weird here. They basically buffed each other. Although you could see that there was some fights, you know, that we crushed anyways. But we just had so many, like, every time, you know, they survived, and then they kept attacking and kept surviving. And we ended up with just a full board at the end of every fight because nothing died, because they were getting 20/20 every time it attacked. Obviously, Oni King is better in the back. We just never found the triple Grumble. Like, if we tripled the Grumble goal, we would have moved, you know, hopefully a doubled Oni King to the back, or tripled Oni King, or whatever it ends up being. But, you know, still, they were just basically things that got +10/+10 when they attacked and gave each other +10/+10. The dragon is always tough because it doesn't fit in with anything, although it works with Pumpkin. You know, it's not a monster. If it was a monster and got the buff, that'd be great. With the Oni King, it'd make that a little bit easier to fit in. But, yeah, in general, I mean, we were at 6 so early that the game ended with a lot fewer turns on 6 than it looked like, because we won 6 for a lot of turns, but other people weren't. So people didn't have time to assemble really huge comps. The person we fought at the end just had a few 6 drops that didn't really mesh well together. They didn't have time to really, complete their build. We did. I mean, we didn't even complete the build, and we won 6, 5 turns ahead of everybody. I think when we won 6, Pup was also on 6 somehow, but then got knocked out the next round, I think. But everyone else was still on 4, which means we had like at least a 3 or 4 round advantage. So, I mean, obviously, adventure is still incredibly strong. I don't know if I've talked about that a lot, but XP in this game is incredibly, incredibly strong. And adventurer is, one of the most repeatable ways to get it. And we just bought a 4/4 adventurer and then just went in on the Grim Souls just to power it up. And we actually probably, we had a cat in at some point that I think ate one of our adventurer buffs. We probably could have taken that out because, XP is generally going to be a lot better than 2 gold. And, that was a huge power spike, was the turn that I think we maybe played Geppetto and they had Princess Peep. So I think we got 2 attack rounds with 2 or 3 attack rounds with our adventurer, plus 2 Grim Souls, and we just rocketed right up to 6. So good game. I think this is my first. I haven't played in a few days, so this is my first win in a while, which is good. I guess it's not my win of the day because we got a 3rd or whatever last game. But yeah, fun. Avella's incredibly strong. She just gets you through the. We actually had a pretty weird early game, right? But as long as you're buying animals and evil characters, and I mean, we had like some evil characters, but we had a Queen of Heart with like only 2 other evil characters or something. It just didn't matter. Avella's so strong early. That buff is just, I mean, so much, right? I mean, you put a black cat on the board, and all of a sudden it's, you're just getting enough value. I've done a lot of rambling. This was a long post game, but thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've been enjoying the videos and the game. Hope you have a good one.